I don't make a lot of sounds during sex, so like sometimes there'll be awkward silences, and I'll just crack a joke to like move the tension.
That is the worst idea.
That's I wish that wasn't true, but I know it's true for him.
The other person always laughs. I think it's funny. They're like, oh,
you crack.
They're like,
you
oh,
crack
that is
jokes
why
during sex.
I'm literally, my cock is inside of her, and I'm like, why was the student's report card wet? Because it was below sea level, and she's like, oh, I'm glad you said that.
She just says, "I'm glad you said
Lies,
that."
bullshit.
Yeah, that's all fake.
Can we get a jingle?
Yeah, what he meant was, DC, can you play your instrument?
I like how before every time you play, you can just hear him banging about in the background.
Go get your afternoon coffee. So pull up a chair and brew that coffee. We're gonna have a good time, hanging with the boys, playing Fortnite, and watching stupid videos on the YouTubes. Brew the afternoon coffee, brew the afternoon coffee. What's the best beer in Britain? We said Budweiser, Guinness, and a Stella Artois. I said those are foreign beers to you. He said, oh, those are the biggest selling retail beers, actually. We got Newcastle. Bailey, can you report the con?
Nobody has any context for this.
This all has to get cut.
Yeah, you have to cut all of it, and something will make sense eventually. That's like my plan at that. Because if I just try to go right for the gold, it just doesn't happen.
What are you talking about? Newcastle?
Yeah,
It's
your
beer.
favorite beer.
Newcastle's a city.
It's a British beer as well.
No.
Yes,
Not-
I worked in a
I've
beer
never-
distributor.
I've
It was an
never seen
expensive English beer.
Oh, can't wait to shut down Newcastle tonight. Horn emoji, aubergine emoji.
What does this mean?
I don't even know. It's the BDP podcast. BDP podcast. Yeah. BDP podcast. It's the BDP podcast. Yeah. It's the BDP podcast. Yeah. BDP podcast. Woohoo. BDP podcast with me. BDP podcast with you. It's the BDP podcast. We welcome that you're here. So pull up a chair and brew that coffee and have a better beer. BDP, 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 you.
I'm thinking of all the different like names, because you know, if you go to school and your name is like Dick or something, other kids will like make fun of it. They're like, "Hey, little Dick." You know, people make fun of your names like that.
Yeah, you know, people used to say the Danny, Bobanny, Banana, Fana, Fofanny, and it used to piss me off as like a second grader.
That's how they made fun of you. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only time my name ever got made fun of was when we were in science class, and they'd be like, "The largest fossil fuel is coal," and everyone would just like look at me, and I'm like, "Yeah, I get it."
The other thing was like Washington D.C. I always thought.
There you go. Bailey, you ever get made fun of?
No. I'm too cool to be made fun of.
Why do we have you on the podcast? I don't know, it's just...
I wasn't listening.
I'm not gonna let that slide. What did you get made fun of for in school?
Fucking dyed hair. Yeah.
I
Bailey,
would've.
were you king of the nerds at your school?
No, I was like, I don't know how you describe my friend group.
That means they were fucking losers.
But like, I always felt in high school like there was always like almost a hierarchy, and like every.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And like every social group would fit in on some level, and like you could be friends with somebody like one level up, but you'd never be friends with people like 2 levels up, you know.
Yeah, just
But
like Clash Royale.
What?
Like if you're King Tower level 11, you'd never like be friends with the 13.
Yeah, that's a good example of 2 levels up.
Yeah.
Good job, Pounds. Yeah.
I'm not taking this shit from you two.
Or no, I'm making fun of Pound for like, another example would be if a 3rd grader wouldn't make friends with a fifth grader because 3 plus 2 is 5.
I actually
Go
don't
ahead,
know.
Bailey, continue.
I'm trying to think. I don't. There were definitely things, but I don't remember any of them.
Wait, so if you said there's a hierarchy, where did you, like, what's at the top? The most popular, the most, like, what was at the top?
Well, just popularity.
Okay, and then what was below that? Like, what tier were you?
This is what I mean. I don't know where our friendship group would go. I don't know if that's something that every group has. Do the popular kids know that they're the popular kids? We definitely weren't at the top, but I don't
Weren't at the
know.
bottom.
I was friends with everybody, you know? I was friends with people
I-
right at the top and right at the bottom. I don't discriminate.
Yeah, I get that.
But then it makes my group weird, right? Because everybody in my group is friends with everybody from every other group. So we're not really anywhere. This is such a
I got
shit
you.
point.
I know exactly. No, I know exactly. I'm thinking of the kids in my high school that were like that.
But like
Makes sense.
it's because we didn't care about that hierarchy, you know? We'd take the piss out of people at the top and at the bottom because we don't give a fuck where we rank.
What, you
know?
made fun of people at the bottom of the popularity?
Yeah. Fuck all
You're just
of
like,
them.
you're a
Isn't
fucking
it
nerd.
interesting? As you were saying this, like, what is popularity isn't based off of looks, right? Like initially you would think like, oh, all the attractive
I think it partially
girls
is.
are the no,
I think it partially is.
for sure. But I'm saying we all know that there was like those hot girls that weren't in the popular group, right?
Yeah.
So it comes down to like personality and like your social
Well,
characteristics.
the people.
Because then there was popular girls who were also unattractive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're the preps. Those are like the top. I don't know if y'all use that term, but
No, we have no terms for like social
Yeah.
groups here.
like I guess like it's based off of like people who go to prep school, who's just very like rich and snooty kind of.
Right.
But anyway, the reason I brought up the being made fun of for your name thing is when DC kept singing the BDP, we're the BDP. I was like, I know, like if we ever get popular, we're gonna get some haters, and somebody's gonna go in the comments of a YouTube video and he's gonna be like, BDP podcast, more like gotta go pee podcast. I'm just gonna like delete the whole channel.
Yo, somebody please write that so I can stop doing this shit. No, I mean, my name isn't actually Bailey. So like DC was like, oh yeah, you know, DC, and Pam was like, oh yeah, Cole. But like,
I
no
never
one ever
said
made fun of
that.
Bailey. Yeah, you were like when you're talking about
Oh
fuel
shit,
and
I did. I doxed
Yeah.
myself.
Fucking idiot.
God damn it, Pound. It literally happened like 67 seconds ago.
I have to be so careful because I spent, during COVID, I was out of a job for like 8 months, and I was online with you guys like all the time on voice, and then I have to stop myself sometimes at work when I'm about to like refer to, if I ever refer to myself in the third person, my brain is about to say pound, and I'm like, don't say that. That's not gonna make any fucking sense.
Why are you referring to
having-
yourself in the third
he's
person
at-
anyway?
He's having an identity crisis where he's transferring from his old Cole self into Lol No Pound.
Give
In
me
a
an
couple of years,
example.
he will legally change his name to Lol, middle name No, last name Pound,
No, I guess just
and
like
he will
not-
only speak in third person.
Like if I meet somebody new and they're like, "Oh, what's your name?" I like my brain is like pound, and then I'm like, "Don't," and then my brain's like, "Don't say it. Whatever you do not say that as your introduction."
Wow, that's a line you hope to never get blurry, and I wish you the best of luck navigating that. It's only a matter of time. My coworker, it is really hard when you live this double life in quotes, like it's not actually a double life.
It kind of is.
But my coworker, he's like a 50-year-old guy, and he brought up Twitch somehow. I forget how it came up, and I turned around, like I shot a look. I was like, Twitch?
He's like, wait, you're
what do you know
50
about
years
Twitch?
old and you're poggers? Like,
But I just wanted to say, oh yeah, I stream on Twitch. Like I spend all of my time on Twitch. But I was like, oh, cool, and just kind of like change the subject because
you
I
immediately
couldn't say I
deleted your
stream on
channel.
there. Well, if I was like, oh, I stream on there, I'd be like, oh, cool, what do you do? I couldn't be like, I'm not telling you because I say inappropriate things and I don't want it to come back
Right.
to me in a professional work setting.
Exactly.
Oh, Bailey, did you actually quit your job, by the way?
I just moved. I work in project management.
Project management.
Project.
He works in
because
sociology.
It's project.
But no, I was gonna say, I went home at Christmas because I had to go take presents and shit, and my neighbor was stood outside when I parked up. And I'd never spoken to him before, but obviously my mother speaks to him a bit apparently, and he asked what I do for work and stuff, and like my mother had told him that I'm a streamer, so he was like, "I heard you stream," and I'm like, "Yeah," and I'm like trying to walk away to my house because I don't want this conversation, right? And he's like, "What do you stream?" And I'm like, "Oh, just video games." And he's like, "Yeah, but what video game?" And I'm like, "I'm gonna go home now. I really hate it."
Wait, so you don't like how old is he?
I don't know, mid-30s.
So you felt like embarrassed?
No, like it's not embarrassed. I just, yeah, I don't like my parents don't even know, you know. So like I'm not gonna tell.
Wait, you've been streaming and making YouTube videos from your parents' house for years. How do they not know?
They know I stream, but not what game.
Oh, okay. That's the
Because, like-
embarrassing part. Clash Royale.
Yeah, right. But no, but like I have siblings, and they've both played like Clash Royale, and they play a lot of Brawl Stars as well. So like, let's just say they went onto Twitch one day, looked at Brawl Stars, knowing I streamed it, and then found my streams. Like, no, like they're fucking 10. Like, no.
I have the exact same problem. My younger sister, cousins, and they're like friends. Every time there's like a holiday, I had to tell when I was I was out of a job. I was streaming on Trovo. I told my parents that's what I was doing for money. So now they found out, and now I have all these like 8 to 16-year-olds who keep asking what my Twitch is. I'm like, I would never tell you in a million years.
Yeah, it's the exact same. My brother has this one friend, and whenever he's like over at my brother's, he will ask me all the time. He's like, "What do you stream? What's your username? What are you on Twitch?" And I'm like, "Bro, shut the fuck up. You're 8, so I can't tell you to shut the fuck up, but please shut the fuck up." I wanna go back to the social group question. Feel like the social group I was in was the socially lost group. We didn't belong to a group, so we made a group. You know, we weren't the nerds who were like good at stuff. We weren't the people who were popular. We weren't like sports people. We just like we were the leftovers.
Wow.
No, I feel kind of similar.
In a good way. But like in a
No,
good
no,
way.
no. I know. I'm not.
Like I didn't want to
wow,
fit
it's like,
into
wow,
anywhere. I just
Yeah,
wanted
it's
to
like,
be
wow.
myself. So like
Yeah.
everybody else who felt the same, we all just like we just became friends, you know.
I know.
And that's how we
It's
were
like
able
set-
to like take the piss out of everybody because everyone else cares about their reputation and shit so much. But we just didn't, you know. We'd like just mock each other all day, mock everybody else all day, and like that's it, you know.
Why does high school have to be groups? Why do we have to put everybody in these different categories, and then if you don't fall in one, you're the lost group? Like, why can't we just say like I'm a kid in high school and I have friends?
Yeah,
You know?
I think
I think
why
it's
do
just
you have to-
natural humanity.
I
you get
yeah.
lonely, you know.
But only in
Like-
high school does that happen. Like, you don't refer to like college cliques. There's no nerds or popular kids in
Well,
college
there's
or at work or anything like that. It's
no.
only
I would
in
say
high
there's
school.
there's work cliques like in offices.
But they don't categorize them off
Yeah.
of popular or good looking.
Mhm.
Yeah, but that's because people are young, and that's what young people care about, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
I couldn't tell you why, but it's just
Pound, what group were you in?
It was kind of like Bailey. Like, so there was like the football players. We weren't in that.
Mhm.
We weren't in like the preppies. We weren't like the nerds. We were kind of like, I know a lot of our group did plays. I know that, but I wouldn't call us like the musical theater group or anything because it wasn't really. Well, I said a lot of us. It was kind of more like 2 of them kind of come to mind. But
yeah, out of 3.
Yeah, out of the 3
yeah.
of us.
No, I'd say there's probably like 8 to 12 of us. I guess we kind of like the video game group. I guess if there was anything that we all had in common, because like that, obviously everyone played video games, but usually like they would play like the football guys obviously would play like the sports video games and stuff, and we would play more like the Pokemon and other RPGs and stuff like that. So I guess we were kind of like the computer nerd, if not like the school nerd, but I guess maybe like computer nerd group if I were to give us anything.
Those are the nerds.
I was gonna say
Well, we weren't programmers or anything. We just like play. I guess you could just say we the gamers.
We weren't the
gamers.
nerds, but we were like the computer nerds who like to play video games.
We
and
weren't
sat-
computer
fun with
nerds
that.
though. We just played video games. We had in our senior years our senior year was really like the only time we had electives where like not every single person in the grade had the same exact classes. Our senior year we actually got to pick classes. Every single person in my group did astronomy because I love astronomy, except for one person. There was one person in our group who didn't do astronomy. We just started looking back, I don't know if he felt bad about it. So I kind of feel bad about that. But we started making like running jokes about him not being in astronomy and just pretending like it made him stupid. Like we'd be like, "Hi, I'm so and so. My favorite planet is the sun." Just stupid stuff like that.
And then we found out 3 years later he killed himself because he wasn't in the astronomy.
We later found out that he tried jumping off of his tree to reach the moon, but he didn't make it.
If only Timmy had taken that class, he would have known. How many kids went to your high school or were in your grade? Your graduating
my
class?
graduating class was in between 70 and 80.
70 people?
Yeah.
What?
I know for I'm pretty sure that's one of the smaller schools, I
You
believe.
had 80 kids in your entire
Tiny.
class?
Yeah.
How many did you have, Bailey?
In the whole school. I
No,
think it-
just in your grade.
Well, I'm getting there. The whole school was 1,200, and it was
Yeah, that was
divided
about the size of
through-
our school, but like
It-
we went from preschool to 12th grade.
Right. Ours was divided by 5,
Mhm.
so about 250.
Dude, I graduated with like over almost 800 kids.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ.
I'm from a very small area though, so I was surprised that Pounds was lower than me because I thought I
So
would.
yeah, that is 80's insanely small. I was not expecting that. That also has a huge like we had vastly different experiences, the three of us.
Mhm.
Just based off of 80, 250, 800.
Yeah, because like how many kids would be in a classroom, do you see?
30?
Yeah, I'd say 30.
Oh, really? Because we were like usually 18 or so in a class.
It was never under 20. If it was under 20, like the class would just be called off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that's like a lot of people say I like smaller classes because you get like attention from the teacher and it's so true, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
unless you went up to the teacher specifically with an issue, you weren't gonna get any special attention.
And I was always a kid who hated that. Like, I wouldn't want a teacher to help. Mainly, like, in school, I was very capable with schoolwork and shit. And, like, if a teacher came over to me, I'd just, like, try and get them away as soon as possible. So, I guess I benefited from bigger classes.
Yeah, I always liked high school, and I mean I had no problem asking the teacher questions or asking for help. But college came around. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I fucking hated high school, and I still do.
Dude, I loved it. I peaked in high school.
Yeah, I
there was
thoroughly
a-
miss high school.
I loved high school so much. I got perfect attendance 3 out of my 4 years. That means I did not miss one day.
That is
The
disgusting.
only reason I missed my sophomore year is because I went to Europe to play soccer for 10 days. That is
What?
the only reason. And so when you get perfect attendance at the school I went to, they give you a little card and you get to go to everything and anything you want for free. You go to sporting events, you don't have to pay for tickets. If you want to go to the prom or the homecoming, you don't have to pay for tickets. You get everything for free.
Specifically related to the school.
No, everything on the planet is.
That's
free.
what he said. He said you get this piece of paper that you get to go anywhere for free.
That's why I went to Europe. It was free.
Yeah.
It was awesome. I saved thousands of dollars over the 3 years. But dude, I always felt that if I missed school, like if you were sick or whatever, you just wanted to stay home, you were gonna get it worse trying to catch up. The kids who always like were missing school were not good at did not get good grades.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very hard to play catch up because you're not present to learn the lesson, and then the work accumulates and builds off of each other, and it's just never good. So I was just like, I just won't miss a day. You know, I play sports every day after school, so might as well show up. I don't know. I was lucky to have that because a lot of my friends hated going to school.
Yeah, we tried to miss as many days as possible here.
Yeah,
complete
no, it's
opposite.
a lot of people do that. Yeah.
Like, you'd never be made to do work that you missed unless, like, you brought it up. You just...
What?
Yeah, the lesson would just sort of... the lessons here are, like, 50 minutes to an hour. And,
Yeah.
like, if you missed it, you missed it. Like, there's nothing... And I think our exams are more, like, paramount than yours. All of our school goes into one final exam, and that's it. So it's like you miss a
What?
lesson... Like, it's very, very rare that you're going to miss anything that's
Wow.
on the actual exam. So, like, whatever, just move on.
Dude, we have tests like every 2 weeks.
Yeah, we'd
And
have
you
tests
had
here, but they
tests
didn't mean
and
anything.
Homework. What? That's insane to me.
Mhm. they're just practice tests for the final exam at the end.
Wow.
Hmm.
That's ludicrous.
And if you miss the exam, some of them do resets, depending on your reason. But if you don't have like a really good reason, then hell, that's it. You've just missed it.
It does not seem right to me.
No, it's awful. I hate education.
Bailey is so fucking negative about everything to ever exist.
I just hate stupidity, and everything is really stupid.
He's like, my group of friends made fun of everybody, the losers, the winners. I hate education.
This is a big question. How would you change the education system where you lived? What would you have done differently?
In terms, like, I can't go through
Just
all
right
of
off
it.
the top of your head. I know it's a big question that you probably want to prepare for, but just right off the top of your head.
I'll say we move it out of Norfolk.
Well, firstly, subjects. Like, a lot of them are fucking... I think we went through this on a podcast before. A lot of them are fucking useless. I think you should, when you reach high school, which is at 11 here, you should be able to trial a lot of different subjects for, like, even a year. And then you can pick your favorite ones, and you go do those. Maybe even you have to go to, like, a different school for certain classes, because obviously not every school have enough people doing each class, but whatever. And then a lot more coursework based opposed to just a final exam, because I think that proves that you're consistently good at a topic rather than on one day you might have, oh no, I've forgotten this one fact which is gonna be worth 20% of my paper or whatever, you know.
Dude, I'm thinking like the homework alone made up like 50% of your
homework
grade.
means
the
nothing
daily
here.
homework.
Homework has never meant anything here.
Homework is like the biggest part of the grade. Yeah.
Our school had like a policy where like teachers were meant to give like 1 hour every day to do like homework stuff, but like no teachers ever would. And also like it would really depend on the teacher, right? Some of them took it really seriously and were like, I'm gonna give you, you know, an after school detention for not doing it. But some of them like it would set homework and you just say, no, I haven't done it, and they're like, oh, whatever. So like it really depended on the teacher. But also going back to school reform, I would fucking remove homework. Why am I at school for 8 hours a day if I have to come home and do more work that hasn't been done in my 8-hour day at school?
Because they want to test you on what you learned in that 8 hours.
Well, then do it next lesson. Let's start a lesson. I have 8 hours at school every day.
It's not their. They're not being paid to watch you do your homework.
Well, I'm saying get rid of it. I'm saying it shouldn't exist.
It makes you be able to cover twice as much content, right? Because if you had to learn, you had to teach them the content and then also sit there while they did the work, you'd be wasting the teacher's time.
Well, what is school for you? A school here is...
What is what?
Like, here...
It's from like 8 to 3.
No. I mean, here, a lesson starts, you maybe get an introduction or whatever, and then the teacher will give you some sort of work to do, and they'll go around class as you do it. That is pretty much what happens in a normal school lesson. So, like, and DC, you just were like, we had 3 periods in class where people would just talk, and you'd do homework. Why isn't that just everybody doing homework and then no homework is set?
Right.
Like, there's the time there.
No, because I think that's what they're preparing you for. They're giving you that automation, that choice to, do you want to be productive and successful, or do you want to piss off and waste the time and not do the homework?
But then what's the point in school? Isn't the whole point in school making people productive and successful? Why make it an option?
Yes. Because that in life, you always have that option. You need to learn how to juggle that, how to handle that.
No, I disagree with homework. It's stupid.
I'm going to go big controversial here.
I think they give too much homework before Bailey or Pound says this. I think it's you should be working for a half hour to an hour tops for all classes total. Go ahead.
I would get rid of summer. So we have like a 2.5 month break from like May to, is that the same in England, Bailey?
We get like a month and a half.
A month, yeah. So it's from like halfway through May till the beginning of August. I wouldn't destroy it, but I would set it to like a month or so at max, and you would get the same amount of days off. It would just be sprinkled throughout the year more. Yeah,
we sort of have that here. We have more splits in our term than you guys do, and then we have a short summer. So.
And that's because I haven't delved deep into the research, but from what I've heard is that during that, since it's like 2.5 months of you not learning anything, you really just forget so much stuff.
Yep.
And then when you go to the next year, they assume you know everything from the previous year and start building off of that, which you've forgotten. So I'm not taking away any vacation time. You still have the same number of school days, but it's more spread out instead of mainly focused on one giant chunk.
They do the opposite here. When you come back from summer here, they pretty much just go through all the stuff you went through in like the last few weeks before summer to make sure
they kind of do that for like the first week.
Yeah.
I totally disagree with you, Pound.
Fuck you!
I think that, dude, the grind of just getting out the 9 months or whatever it is, and then getting that huge break is, dude, I remember I have so many good memories of like summers as a kid.
Oh, absolutely. Me too, yeah.
And you take that away. That's what real life is, right? Like you
still
work
have a
Monday through
month.
Friday. What?
I will say that is honestly kind of scaring me in a way, knowing that like
you don't get a break ever again.
For the rest of my life, the biggest break I'm ever gonna have is like maybe a week or two.
Yep, it's awful.
Yeah.
Unless you get unemployed again, like COVID.
You get to retire one day. It's like 20 years off.
Yeah, but that really
20?
depresses me thinking about like...
You think I'm retiring at 44?
You're not going to die at 64?
What?
What?
Oh, you're saying I get 20 years of retirement?
Yes, not
I thought you said retirement is 20 years away.
But Bailey, that's not guaranteed, right? Imagine somebody works their whole lives and then dies at the age 60. I know, but that's what I think they have created. The workforce is just way too, what's the word I'm looking for?
Overworked?
Yeah. We have become people who are we are like put here to work. Mm-hmm. If you work an 8 to 5 job, like Monday through Friday, you're going to have very limited time. You have the weekends to do what you want. And then the rest of the time
that's me. Yeah.
It's awful. I hate living like that. Like the unemployment, I was unemployed for 9 months. Yeah, it was boring. Like you don't feel as good about yourself, but like you actually get to do what you want and pursue things that you want to do where you wouldn't have, and people are going to say you can still have time to do that, but you really don't have the energy. And you can't go for 3 weeks and go to Vietnam or, you can't do whatever you want because you have to be behind a desk for a lot of people, 8 to 5 every day for the rest of your time here until you retire. And that's that's sad to me.
And you're saying like you don't have time to do the things you want. Like when I started like streaming and shit when I was in college, if I had a job, there is no way I would stream because sometimes like I just want to not exist for a while. And by that, I mean, like, I want to play a video game or I want to watch something, right? Like, if I wanted to pursue streaming, but also had to work, on my 2 days off, those would be my non-existing days,
exactly.
Right? It wouldn't be actively pursuing something else. And I don't know where people would possibly get the energy to be doing something 7 days a week,
No, I think we should. I think the work week, I think it should be Monday through Thursday, or it should be shortened. It's just the amount that we work is just not right. It's not what we're here to do.
Well, do you get holiday?
Yeah, I get. I get on my 6 month anniversary of being hired. So in May, I'm gonna get 1 week paid time off, and then every year. So every year that since I was hired, I get like 2 weeks off, and then I think on like my 3rd or 5th year of being employed, that bumps up to 3 weeks off a year paid. And then and then we also get since we're in banking, we get federal holidays. So like
Is this what you want to be doing 5 years from now?
I probably.
You wait for real? I didn't.
I mean, not in the same position, but like in the same field, yeah.
Like what? Ideally, in 5 years, what would you be doing?
I mean, still in banking, but maybe like doing loans or e-commerce, which is kind of like debit and credit cards, online stuff. But yeah, I enjoy banking. I enjoy money, economy, finance, stuff like that.
Yeah, I was under the impression that this was just like a job. It wasn't like what your career path was.
Oh no. Yeah, this is totally what I want my career path to be.
All right, that's good. I didn't know that. Good for you, Bailey.
Thanks.
I was hoping you wouldn't ask.
So you had I think we dodged this.
Go a little because this is kind of. I said I kind of had a long week and stuff, and I was talking to a buddy of mine last night about this. I've been kind of feeling down lately, and I think because
Pound, we don't want to hear about it. So
right.
Bailey, kidding. Go ahead.
Yeah, so my entire life I've just always had I guess it's fair. I don't want to insult the people of jobs I was just in, but they were you would call them shitty jobs. I was working at Buffalo Wild Wings. It's a shitty restaurant. Delivery guy for Jimmy John's. They're not careers. They're not like it's cool that I was like 22 doing them. If I was 30 doing them, then people would like whisper when they leave. They'd be like, "Was that guy really 30 years old doing that job?"
I heard that guy's still an aglet repairman.
Yeah. Great callback. But yeah, so not only. All right,
Bailey,
so,
why didn't you laugh at that?
we could piss.
Because I find you abhorrently unfunny.
Sorry, I keep interrupting.
Yeah, so my entire.
I don't want to hear about it. DC, tell me about aglets.
Yeah.
Pound, suck it up, dude. Shut up and suck it up.
Yeah. But yeah, so my whole life I've been making like $10 an hour, and that's in jobs with zero benefits whatsoever. So like the only compensation I get is my $10 an hour or so. And this job, I'm making considerably more money than I ever have in my life. It's not like I would still be considered kind of poor, but
just fucking say it, pussy.
Compared to I'm making like $30,000 a year before tax.
Congrats.
After tax, it's maybe like I don't know, like $24,000 or something. Anyway, so that's a ton compared to what I'm used to, and on top of that, I know this is gonna. Bailey's not gonna relate to this, but I have health insurance. I have 401k matching, so I can they'll help me save for retirement and stuff.
What? How much is health insurance? Like, how does it work?
So I pay per month. I pay like $160 for health insurance.
Wow,
and that's with the company is paying like $600. Yeah. So I'm only paying like 20% of what it costs, and I'm still paying like $160 a month. Yeah. And that's just for one 24-year-old
Yeah, if you have a family,
guy.
you'll be paying like $2,000 to $4,000.
Yeah. But so you think that I would be like, and I am happy with my job. Like this is, I finally feel like I accomplished something. I have an actual career path now, and yet I've never been so lost during my free time, I guess. Like when I was doing Jimmy John's or when I was a waiter and stuff, I would get home from work and I would stream or do stuff. Like I enjoyed my time off. And now when I have my time off, I just feel completely lost. Like I'm like, how we just talked, that's why I brought it up, was we were talking about you only have time for the weekends because I work 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. I'm like, okay, I get from 5 to 10 o'clock is my time every night, and then I have the weekends, and I cannot figure out what to do from 5 to 10. It seems like I get home, and then I go to bed, and then I have to go immediately back to work, and I have this 5-hour time every night, and I don't know what to do to make my life feel meaningful, so it feels like I'm wasting every single weeknight now. I don't know what to do with it.
I relate to that so heavily. When DC was talking about
Did you say you do or don't?
Yeah, I say I do.
Okay.
When you were talking about you work, you say 8 till 5?
Yeah.
I think the norm here is 9 till 5, so it threw me a little bit. But 8 till 5, every weekday, then you get your 2 days off, and then you're back at work again.
Mm-hmm.
That fucking terrifies me, That I have to do that for the rest, that's fucking terrifying.
Horrible. That's why you need to find something you moderately enjoy.
Right. But what was your point, Pound?
My point was that the whole point of me having a nice job now is that I can support myself during my free time. I have money to live, but I don't know what to do during that time. So it's it's kind of like I'm working for nothing at the moment because I don't know what to do with the time I'm not at work.
Yeah, so it almost feels like you're just in an endless cycle, right? It's work, come home, you have your few hours where you feel lost, and then you sleep, and then you work, and then it goes over again. And that is what's terrifying to me.
Before you know it, 10 years has passed, and you're
right?
What the fuck?
And I don't see what happens? I just retire one day, and then that's that, It's what is the point in it all? And it's so existential, but it's horrifying.
No, I know. It's a terrifying situation to think about.
And like even doing something that I'd enjoy, like even when I was doing Trovo for a bit, I was like, what is the point? Why am I doing this?
Well, you're doing that because I think the only way to break this is to work for yourself and start a company that you either own, or like really just enjoy doing it, like you love it. Then that's not as scary, right? Because the only way to make really good money, right, like is to own your own, to be the owner of a business. This guy explained this to me a couple years ago, and it just rang true. Like the only way that you get big money is if you own the company. Like, yeah, you can work a salary job, make $150,000 a year, which is excellent, 200,000, but you're just still like showing up behind a desk, taking orders from a boss. This cycle that we just explained. But if you're a boss, you're the owner. You can work as much as you want or as little as you want. You can delegate. You can reap the benefits of the work that you put in. And I think, Bailey, that Trovo, you were grinding on Trovo because if you became a streamer and blew up and made tons of money and didn't have to worry about working behind a desk for the rest of your life, that would have been the dream.
You know, this is something that... So, how deep do we want to go with this? When I was like... I was like 16, right? Left high school, went to college, did stuff in finance, right? And I was always very good at maths, and my parents were always like, yo, you're going to work in finance. It's going to be really cool. You're going to make so much money. And I'm like, wow, that is really cool. Because when you're a kid, you don't know much different, right?
You just want to hear, I'm going to make money.
Yeah, and you sort of, you want to feel like you're fulfilling the role that you're supposed to fill, you know, that you're good at. But then I got to college and I started learning stuff, and I was like, do I want to do this for the next, like, 60 years or whatever? And I was like, not really. So that's when I was already streaming at that time. So that's when I started YouTube, right? And so I was like, I'm going to go at this, and hopefully this will be a thing. And at least for a little bit, I can get a little bit of respite away from what am I going to do for my 9 till 5, you know? So then it became real, right? I did YouTube full time for over a year. And even doing YouTube, I still never felt like there was any point to it. I was like, yeah, I'm making all these videos and yeah, I'm streaming all the time, but like, wow, everything is so pointless, and I'm doing this to make money to live, and like, wow. I
feel like if you made $100,000 last year from YouTube, you would feel differently.
I don't know. Like the whole point is like I am forever going to be working to be making money so I can survive, and then that is that, and there is no point to it other than I am surviving. Any amount of work is always just outputting myself as a human, you know. Even if I have some skills in whatever, I'm outputting my skills to transfer that into cash, to transfer that into rent, food, whatever you want.
I think that's where, like, you guys want to have a family when you get older?
I'm 20. I can't think about that.
Like you think about, like, right now we can't think about anything really outside of ourselves. But like, fast forward 20 years for you, right?
Yeah.
And you have kids, and you're putting them through school, food on the table, and everything like that. Work doesn't seem as, I don't know. I can't. This is all speculation from experience. But you have something else to live for, right? Like you're here on this earth to raise these kids. But I'm like, as I'm describing this, I'm still thinking like parents still hate their job.
But also like, what do I do until I have kids? And then when I have kids and they grow up and go away, what happens then? How?
You need to work very hard at capitalizing on these years, because these are like very important years, without putting pressure on yourself to be like, I need to enjoy this, right? Because I'll never be single and responsibilist, like have
responsibilist.
What's the word for that?
Irresponsible. Responsibilist.
No, I'm not saying irresponsible. I'm saying you don't have responsibilities. That doesn't make you irresponsible.
Yeah, I think you can use the same word though. I think
you'll never be as free of responsibility as you are now. How about that?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I would use the word irresponsible.
Like these years, dude, so many people would be jealous of the three of us to be single. Like I'm.
Yeah, okay,
single,
buddy.
But,
yeah.
Just to not single, but just to, you can do whatever you want. And if they heard you say like, "Oh, I don't even know what I want to do," I don't know. It's like the grass is always greener. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not saying I want to be like 40 already and like be in that.
No,
stage.
I know.
I'm just saying, like, I don't get the point in any of it. And, like, this is really deep for a podcast, but
I think that's what podcasts are for.
Like most when people say that, they're always like, "Oh, well, what do you like to do? What are your interests?" And it's like, well, my interests are streaming, gaming, and I've done that. Like, I need to find something else. But I think it's just about like trying things, just getting out there and just trying things, and then if you don't like it, you move on to the next thing. But you'll never know unless. Have you ever gone skiing or skydiving or raced a car?
Here's what I was gonna end it on, because we've been talking and it sounds like we're all just fucking depressed and want to kill ourselves, right? Which clearly isn't the point.
That's why we're YouTubers,
right? But I feel like the only reason I actually feel like that is because of COVID. Is because of how heavily it's been treated in this country.
Yes, that's true.
Before March last year, like, life was great, you know? I would never have any of these thoughts. And I was really, like, fulfilled doing YouTube and shit. But then March came about and slowly I fell into a process of thought where I was doing YouTube. My free time would be at home because I can't go anywhere. I can't do anything. And then I would sleep and I'd do YouTube again. And then my free time would be at home and then I'd sleep and then it'd continue. But yeah, I think you're right. I think, like, when you were talking about, like, skiing and stuff, that's exactly where I was going to go, right? Like, doing those sort of, like, extreme things that make stories is, like, it's the point in life. And I feel like the reason I feel how I do right now is just because I can't do anything. And all of those things feel so far away, you know? They feel like they won't be back soon. So it feels like everything right now is for nothing. But maybe one day it will feel better.
But yeah, to parrot what DC, because if we ever want to get some like serious viewer questions about like I know a good bit about retirement, planning and investing and stuff, and to parrot what DC said is that a very important lesson is that it's impossible to get rich if you have to work for money. So the great thing about stocks on average go up like 8% a year. So if you have if you have $1 million in the stock market, on average, you're making $80,000 a year. And, that's like while you're sleeping and stuff. You don't have to like clock in on somebody else's time.
But how do you get that $1 million?
Yeah, well, you do that by working. But yeah, and the other way, of course, is, just owning your own business outright. Because then other people's time is making you money. And, a lot of business, especially small businesses, the owners are working like 60 hours a week or so. But eventually you get to the point where you can hire managers for that, and you should never rely solely on your job's income for trying to save up, because it's just you only have so many hours per week.
That is all I've been doing since lockdown, is just any money I need to survive stays in my bank account, but the rest is all in stocks, and that is all I've been doing with my savings because I feel so lost right now. There's nothing else I can do with it. I was going to
actually recommend that, is like start to learn that stuff. That stuff just doesn't interest me at all. Like I'm trying to get into it as well, but I could care less about it. But I haven't gone deep enough. But yeah, I was going to say that seems like something you could really get in. It's very statistical. It's very number oriented, like you like, and there's a large amount of risk involved, which makes it fun.
What else was I going to say about I don't know.
Should we switch the topic?
Dude, I did want to share. Well, I wanted to share this during the school part. So there's this girl that was in my grade, and one of the football players. Look, I don't know. I only know the aftermath, so I don't know what the conversation was. But basically, they were at school, and the football player was like, "Yeah, you should give me a blowjob." So.
Why is every story for you about sex?
Not every story, but this is what is an interesting school story? Like, we went into a class and we learned math. Like, that's not intriguing.
Well, maybe you beat up a teacher or something.
Look, I'll share stories about that too. But this, so the girl and the football player go into this what they thought was an empty room, and she starts blowing him. And then if a third grade class, so 8-year-olds, like, the teacher leads them into the room and she's just sitting there blowing him. And look, I'm not going to say that there was sexism involved. I'm not going to say that there was racism involved, but she was a white girl and he was a black guy. The black guy got expelled for it, and the girl only got suspended for a week. Yeah, so what do you think about that?
Is it maybe to do with the fact that he had his cock out and she was fully clothed?
That might be part of it. She had her cock out too.
Well, I mean, it's still considered sex, but like...
Yeah, Bailey, she pulled her penis out to make him feel more comfortable.
But like, when the 8th graders, or whatever you said, walk in, like, they see his penis. They don't see anything bad from her, you know?
Yeah, but imagine if he was railing her, right?
Yeah, then it's a different story.
You wouldn't see... Why is that different? His penis was in her mouth.
It's still out.
But
okay,
she's also having...
So if her pussy was out... So if he was fully clothed eating her out, you think she would have been expelled and he would have been fine?
Possibly.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah, I mean, possibly.
No.
That's the only thing I can think. That's the only reason I can think. I'm trying to think of a reason for it. Give me another one.
The racist principle?
Well, that's different.
It was the school. The school was like 95% white.
It's a different culture.
And my town is like 55% black, so you know that's pretty disproportionate. And
you guys are the Americans. You know better.
The weirdest thing.
Why did you want to bring this up, Pound?
Because they were blowing each other, and 8-year-olds walked in on them. Why would you? Why would you go into a classroom to blow someone?
I don't know.
Dude,
it seems like it seems like you just wanted to tell a blowjob story, and it just happened to take place at school.
I'm sorry, it wasn't as interesting as the depravity and insignificance of life.
It's a fair apology.
Yeah.
I don't know if I accept it.
When is the last time you guys cried?
Does happiness crying count?
Yeah, that's fine.
2 nights ago.
May I ask what happened?
I just... This is gonna sound really fucking sad!
I think it's more interesting if we never find out. Like, it's just podcast lore that Bailey cried 2 days ago, and we never know why.
No, so, there's context here, right? But football here is really big, okay?
No, you didn't.
Wait... Like, it's to do with, like, fucking masculinity and shit, right? It's very difficult, traditionally, for males to let out their emotions, and football becomes this release for a lot of people. And I will say, I have been one of those people for ages, right? I'm realizing now, and I'm bettering myself, I guess.
Just to clarify for the viewers, when he says football, he means soccer.
Soccer. But here it's a really big thing. So, 2 years ago, my football team did really well, right? And they made this montage video, and it's one of my favorite videos. And I watched it the other night, and
pussy.
Every time I watch it, I fucking cry because it's beautiful.
Like yeah, I get that.
And it's because in this culture, right, where it's so difficult for men to express their emotions, football has been for generations a way where, you know, typically it's like 60,000 males in a stadium. They're all screaming. They're all letting all of their emotions out in this sport. And I'm a part of that. I'm a part of this toxic culture. And that video always fucking gets me. And yeah, I someone asked me to send them a cool video the other night. And I was like, this is probably my favorite video. So I watched it and I cried.
I accept that answer.
Thank you.
Okay, Pound.
I appreciate validity.
There are definitely some YouTube videos that I know I cry kind of from happiness every time I watch them.
Yeah, like everybody's got a different thing, right? Like I'm sure there are hundreds of things that not hundreds, but there are many things that you'll cry at through like nostalgia, right? And that's sort of the same where I'm coming from with this. It's just that's where my emotional connection is, and that's what triggers me to cry from happiness.
When was your last sad cry? You don't have to answer that. All right, Pound.
I'm
what
fine answering it. I don't.
Oh, go ahead.
Maybe 8 months ago.
When you got kicked in the balls?
Yeah, definitely. That's the one.
Oh, you cried?
What's the joke? I don't get the joke.
It would just be like a really shitty ending to the story. You're like, when was the last time you cried? Get kicked in the balls.
I'm not gonna tell you the story, but it was probably like a year or so ago. I don't know. It's a while.
Oh, is that when your grandmother died of COVID?
Yeah, in January last year.
Yep. You said 8 months.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking about it. It's probably like a year.
You don't remember when your grandmother died?
He's so insensitive about his grandmother.
She's still alive, as far as I know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. pound is up.
Now speaking in third person again.
Yeah. I feel yeah, that's what I do at when a customer comes in. They're like, "Hey, I'm trying to open a bank account." It's like, "Good thing pound is on the clock."
Who's pound? Well, that's me, motherfucker.
Yeah. Oh my god, I got so she meant no slight by it, but I got so like I felt so slighted by it. This lady came in and she said, "Hey, I need to ask somebody about a question about my account." And she like points to my manager who's like in his office, and she's like, "I guess I need to speak to a banker about that." I was like, "I am a banker, bitch." Like,
he's like, no, you're just the fucking, what is it, cash register guy? What are they called?
a teller.
You're just a teller.
Except I'm not a teller.
Are you a teller though?
No, no.
How are you different?
I'm kind of like on the same hierarchy as them, but I'm kind of above them.
What do you do all day?
I mainly tellers do like the transactions and stuff, but I open accounts for people and like fix problems with their accounts, like if their debit card isn't working.
Do you stand behind a counter or do you sit at a desk?
Well, I do both because we always have to have somebody in the lobby. But from 11 to 3, so we have like a part-time person that sits in the lobby. And when they're there, I have my own office and stuff. When they're not there, because they only work 4 hours a day. When they're not there, I'm usually out in the lobby, kind of like where a teller would be.
So, you're a teller?
Nope.
Can we go back to the crying question,
Yeah.
please?
Well, I felt like my story is gonna kind of suck, at least for talking to you guys, because I already talked about it. I cried a little bit last night. Backstory: as I was talking about. I don't really know what to do during my free. Like, I finally have a job. I feel like I did something right. I feel like I have a career. I feel like I have a great job for the first time. I don't know what to do outside of work. I don't know how to give myself meaning now that I have a nice job. And I was super looking forward to streaming at the end of the work week. It's a video game that I really enjoy. And all work week, I was kind of like getting up in the morning. I'm like, 4 more days until... weekend, I get to stream and stuff. 3 more days until weekend, 2 more days. And finally, I get home Friday night, and I've been looking forward to this all week, because I guess just something that was giving me meaning, and I went live, and then for like the first time ever, nobody showed up to the stream, so I just kind of like ended. I didn't even really know what to do with the rest of my night, so I kind of just like went to sleep. Which, like, I get it's not like a big deal. I get just everyone was it was Friday night, everyone was like out and stuff. But it was just something that I didn't like sit there and cry or anything, but I kind of like went for a walk afterwards and listened to some music. I just like teared up a little bit because it was just what I was looking forward to all week, and I thought that would make me happy, and then it just kind of fell through. So, but now I've got the podcast. I enjoy talking to you guys. That's given me something to do outside of work.
It's good that you have like those. Like this goes to anyone, but it's good to have those like personal things that you just look forward, like they just get you through the boring times, Like there's nothing wrong with going to work. Nobody's like excited to it, excited for it even. But like at least you got that,
Yeah,
it's a good thing.
I'm sorry that happened, man. I didn't realize it was that significant. Last night was that significant. I didn't, like I said, I normally stop by all your streams there, at least have the tab open and lurk.
Yeah, I'm completely over it now, but yeah, I was pretty, because
it's so interesting to me that like you said nobody showed up to my stream last night, and I was like, oh, whatever, like, who fucking cares? But like something like that holds, like, it was devastating to you. And it's just like those are the missed communications or the missed signals that just create like I was way off base with how upset I actually thought you were. And that just it's surprising to me of like how we get these, what's the word, miscommunication, or like you underestimate the...
I think miscommunicate's a fine word, yeah.
I'm listening to a book by Malcolm Gladwell called Strangers, and how we fail miserably at our interactions with strangers. And it just reminded me of like, I had no idea how upset you were. And if I was like rude to you about it, or was like, suck it up, nobody cares, like that would have been doing nobody any good.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just surprising.
I don't want to overhype in anyone's mind. Like, I'm completely over it now. It's fine. But my time that I'm not at work is like Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. It's like 2.5 days kind of. And I guess I didn't have like a backup plan, so I was just like, okay, when I get home from work, I'm gonna stream for like 3 hours or something and go to bed. And then when it didn't happen, I was like, I didn't even plan for doing anything else, and I was just felt kind of lost because I wasn't like, I mean, what other hobbies people do? Like, go build go paint or something. Like I didn't have any like backup plan for like what to do with my time. So I was just it just kind of bummed me out. I mean, I feel better now, but I'm gonna try again tomorrow. If like nobody shows up again, I'm gonna be like, okay,
Man, like the pressure on like numbers in streaming like is so subconsciously impactful. You know?
So I don't look at my viewer numbers at all, but I need somebody to talk to. So like if I was at 100 viewers and 0 people were talking, I don't look at viewer numbers, so I wouldn't even know I had 100 viewers or something. If I had just like I've had plenty of times where I streamed for like 2 hours to literally 1 viewer, but they were talking to me nonstop, and that's
always bad,
way better. That's way better than like 10 viewers where people aren't really responding.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, that plays into what I was saying as well. Like, there have been times, especially on like Trovo, where I would like always ask people to lurk for watch hours, where like everybody would lurk, and it's like that's when the "why am I doing this" kicked in, you know? Because I'm just like talking to myself, playing a video game that I'm pretty impartial towards anyway, and like people are maybe watching, but nobody's saying anything, and I don't know. Sometimes it can even get like lonely, you know? It's weird. Streaming is like so subconsciously weird. Like you don't even realize these things are happening, but
I can't even stream anymore right now because I don't know what it is.
Oh, I'm with you, DC.
Like I just don't. I don't have like the urge to get back on like I used to. I used to like look forward to it so much to like get back online. So that's not there. I don't have a game that I really want to play, which plays a factor. But then I'm also just like, what if people don't watch? You know?
Yep.
Or what if I'm not entertaining enough?
I'm with you on all 3, except you are actually entertaining.
There's a streamer that me and DC have both. I kind of showed him to DC. I don't think Bailey's ever seen him. His name's Leonostic. Leonostic. He's a speedrunner. He usually plays like Mario games and stuff, like Super Mario Sunshine and stuff. And one of the things I bringing this up because I just talked to him about it yesterday. I said because I went to his server and I kind of like talked about I had my favorite video game ever pulled up. I was so hyped, and I sat like on the intro screen for like 30 minutes waiting for somebody to show up, and nobody ever showed up. And then I said, because one of the things that I love about him, he's one of the best streamers I've ever watched, and yet he's been streaming consistently for like 6 years or so. He has never broken like 10 viewers, and it's usually like.
Why do you think he's one of the best viewers or streamers? Like, I'm genuinely confused. Like, he does not. I'm not entertained. I don't laugh. Like,
wow.
He's just he's relaxing. He
yeah, exactly. No, I find him incredibly relaxing. Like,
but like when you say one of the best streamers, like I'm legitimately just like confused.
I mean, if he's one of the few people that I often click on, I just I can't say what it is about him, but yeah.
Okay, say no more. I got you.
Because he usually streams pretty late, like between. I know he has an actual job now. He recently graduated and got his doctorate in I think it's like psychology or something. So his schedule was a little different, but he used to stream from like 8 p.m. to like midnight. Times when I'd be like getting ready to go to bed, and he's just like very like maybe if he streamed at noon, I wouldn't like him. But the fact that he's just such a relaxing, calm, cool dude around the time when I'm kind of tired and stuff, it was just like a calming end of the day. That's why I like watching him. But he streams for he would stream for like 4 hours a day. Sometimes like nobody would talk for like hours, and he would still stream like with the exact same energy, which isn't a ton because I say he's more relaxing than like energetic.
I was gonna say the dude never raises his voice past that level.
Yeah, but I told him that's one of the things I admire about him, because just like last night, if nobody comments for like if I don't get somebody to comment for like 10 or 15 minutes, I mean, that's what I do. I like talking with chat, so I would probably just like kind of wrap up the stream if nobody commented for a while. But this guy, for years, streamed for hours to like maybe one commenter or stuff.
So
I told him I found that very admirable, because I don't know that I could ever. Because I've had periods, I'm up and down, but I've had periods where I had like 20 to 30 viewers, like in Clash Royale. And I think if I had streamed consistently, he probably streamed like, 50 to 100 hours a month for years to like 2 or 3 viewers. I don't think I would quit.
Here's the difference.
Mhm.
He would be doing that speed running with or without Twitch, right? He's there for 4 hours not because he loves streaming. It's because he loves becoming the best at speed running.
I don't know how that never occurred to me, but yeah, you're right. I stream to entertain people, but
Yeah.
he is speed running and he happens to have the camera on.
Exactly. If I loved Clash Royale as much as he loved speedrunning, I wouldn't care how many viewers I had, or I wouldn't care about chat. I would just care about playing Clash Royale.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
That's become the thing with me as like why I don't stream anymore is like there's no game that I really play that much to where I could just put on a stream and not care if there's a chat. Like
Right.
if I'm streaming, it's because I want to stream, but then I have to force myself to play games that are either like a one-time thing or that I don't want to play, you know?
No, I get it. That's why like being a variety streamer would be like so fun. You could just
That's
do different
impossible
shit
to
every
grow,
day.
though. Yeah. But like there's a reason it's so difficult because everybody would want to be that, right?
One of the biggest things that I always just get very sad to see, because I would hate it if this ever happened to me, is occasionally I'll see people and they have like 500,000 followers, like dude, a number I could never even comprehend having, and they're sitting on like 8 viewers or something because they either like switched games or their audience just kind of died out, and I'm like, I don't think I could ever go from like having 2,000 plus viewers every stream to like 8. Like
those are depressing to
Yeah.
stop by when you see the people who are verified and it's like they have like 2 viewers and it's like what happened?
Yeah, because
Like,
I don't think.
you
I
had
think
a
I would have to
huge fan
stop
base,
streaming. Yeah.
And they stopped watching you because of the game you played. Like you accomplished nothing. You were just a middleman between the content and the viewer.
Yeah, I think it's depressing we see them like that. I think they're fine doing what they're doing, but I think it's sad that we see them as like, let's say they went
a failure. It's a failure in my mind, which it's not, right?
no,
But they
that's
failed.
what I mean. But it's so
an,
sad
it's
that
an
people online see that as a failure. That shouldn't be. They've been there, done that. You know. Then maybe they're happy with their 200 viewers they get now.
It's like when a band makes a one-hit wonder, right? And then nobody cares about them again.
Yeah, they can
that's
still
the same
enjoy
exact
doing
thing.
what they're doing.
Yeah, but it's sad. You know, it's
I was saying I see it from an empathy point of view. Like I know if I was like doing Twitch for a living, getting thousands of viewers, and then it dropped down to like 5 to 10 viewers, I would quit. I know that's the kind of person I am. Like I can't go from like
so would
big
I.
highs down to low lows. Yeah.
Would too, Bailey. I think you have that kind of personality where you're like, oh fuck, like I failed.
Well, I can't talk now because I don't stream. But like I'm not a streamer anymore. I don't know. You know.
But imagine if you averaged 2,000 viewers for Clash Royale for 2 years, and then next week you just went down to like
It would depend on the
9
game.
viewers.
It would depend on the game. Like if I'm as with a
FIFA.
speedrunner, right? If I'm just enjoying the game, I think it'd be fine. But if I was forcing myself to play a game and then there's a huge drop off, like yeah, obviously I'd quit. But if I enjoyed the game anyway, I don't think so.
How do you think somebody would like genuine reaction if somebody like how many viewers does Ninja average? Like 200,000 or something or more?
Now?
Yeah.
Now?
No
Dude,
way.
like 10,000.
Oh, okay, well, like at his peak or something.
Oh,
Yeah,
like 50,
SP.
60,000.
So how do you think one of those people would react if they're used to going live to like 200,000 people or so, and then just one stream, just completely randomly, just one stream, they get like 2 viewers, and just like they stream for like 4 hours and just nobody shows up.
That would be hilarious. If
I
they
think
could
they
somehow
just
pull that
assume
off
it
as a
was
prank
broken.
or something, they'd be like, Twitch is down. Something's not working. This isn't right.
Yeah, I think they'd like stop after 10 minutes and be like, "Yo, what's up with my OBS or something?" You know?
Yeah, but no, it's genuinely like, or like maybe 200,000 people stop by, like in the first like 5 minutes. There's like 200,000 comments saying like, "Yeah, it's kind of boring," and it just drops down to like 1.
No, I don't know. I think it's a very personality based thing, but I still don't think like I hate how it's almost like an ego thing. You know, it's like I used to average 20,000, and then like people come in and are like, "Lol, dead stream, you average 2." It's like okay, well you would
Yeah.
average 2 as well, but I used to average 20,000. You know, like it's so stupid. Fucking society's stupid. I hate everything.
Okay, Bailey, we're gonna work on that. But,
I don't know. I hate stupidity and everything's stupid to me. Okay.
how would you guys like to? I've been looking forward to this for about 2 weeks or so, and I kept saying like they're not going to agree to do this, especially Bailey, because he shuts down every idea. I wanted to test y'all's improv skills.
Oh, fuck off!
I'm gonna give y'all a scenario, and then y'all have to. We're gonna kind of act it out.
No, look. Here is my thing. Okay, I can't do voices. I can't do emotions.
You can do your normal voice. You're playing yourself.
I'll try, but no,
Okay, look,
I'm gonna be awful.
The most that's funny. That's funny. Okay,
It's cringe.
this being a train wreck is perfectly acceptable.
Wait,
But
what
I'm
is
not a
going
train
on?
wreck. I'm just bad.
DC, I'm gonna give a hypothetical scenario, and then you guys are gonna like act out what you would do in it.
I need a prep talk, DC.
So and even if this sucks, I think this is gonna help build us up as funnier guys, because it kind of gets that thinking part of your brain. You start growing it, Okay.
Confused. You're gonna give us a hypothetical and then we act out how we.
Yeah, like I'm gonna say like, and this is not what it is, but I'd say like, okay, water is replaced by mayonnaise, and then like you have to like act out how your life would go.
You're putting us through improv class.
Basically, yes.
What are you eating?
Sorry.
No, you guys.
I have not eaten once on this podcast, and you two do it every fucking episode.
I've been streaming since noon. I'm hungry.
It was your decision.
No, but I know, but it's also my decision to eat right now.
The most important part of improv is that you don't say no. You always say whatever.
No.
Like if I said Bailey, your arm just exploded. You go yes, and I need to go to the hospital for it. You never say
know
no.
what my reaction is.
Not funny.
Okay, here's the hype. And once again, don't shut. Even if this sucks, let's just don't shut me down on this.
DC, you're
Okay.
carrying. Help.
Everyone in the world besides us, and feel free to ask questions to clarify. Everyone in the world besides us overnight become 3 foot tall midgets. And so like we just wake up one day and every other, like all 7 billion people besides us three are 3 feet tall. They all have memories. They all have memories of being normal height, and they're angry.
Okay.
They blame us.
Why do they blame us? What did we do?
Well, they don't have proof that we did anything, but we're the only 3 people in the world that aren't 3 feet tall, and they're mad.
Can I play sports? Professional sports?
Yeah, there's still professional sports and stuff. It's just everyone's 3 feet tall. Like, everyone's okay. So let's start with DC since Bailey needs some prep time. Okay, DC.
Well, like the first thing I thought of, this was like my first thought. I was like, do we still have sex? Like, do I still have sex with them? But they're like 3 feet tall, right? So I'm looking at that.
Well,
Dude,
look,
that's
it's your
man.
life. You don't have to have sex with them
For the first time in my life, my penis would actually feel ginormous.
There you go. So okay, so who lives in your house, DC?
What do you mean? Who lives in my house? If I wake up tomorrow,
who
there's no
else
extra
is in your
people in my
apartment?
house just because they're short now.
Who else is in your apartment?
Nobody's in my
opening
apartment
your
right
I'm
now.
not asking about the hypothetical. I'm asking about in real
magically-
life.
Yeah, I know, but like nobody would additionally live with.
That's not what the question is.
What is the question?
Right now, who lives with you?
There's 0 people with me.
Nobody. You live alone.
Literally, yes. I thought you knew this.
I thought you lived with Jenna.
No.
Fuck.
I
Okay.
moved out in July, and we're moving back in.
Okay.
In March.
You wake up. You're home alone. So that does not change your home life at all. So
Not at all. That's why I was so confused. I was like, "What the?"
So you get in your car to go to work. All right.
My
And
car is
then-
still standard size, or is everything now smaller?
No,
Yeah, and
everything is
everyone
3 foot.
else's cars are this now. We're like a little bit into the future, all right. So they've started developing midget-sized cars, but you still have your old car. Like the world, nothing changed really.
Where do I get a new car?
That's
Well, you're
me. You
fucked,
have to
dude.
pay
You're
out the
fucked,
ass.
dude. Yeah. They don't cater to 3
Shit.
people. Okay, so you're on your way to work, DC, and you run a yellow light. It's not red. You know it wasn't red. It was yellow. and then you see a police turn on their sirens, and he pulls you over. This little midget walks out of the police car, and he comes up to you, and he goes, can I see your driver's license?
Yeah. Oh, now you want me to go?
Yeah.
Okay, some time has passed, so I've comprehended that these people everybody's 3 feet tall, and like I'm okay with it. I'm obviously just I mean, I would just give him my license and registration.
Yeah, you wouldn't be like, what'd you pull me over for?
I don't know. I've actually never been pulled over.
Really?
Before.
Okay. Well, we'll get into that later.
Have you
So the kind of twice, I guess.
Kind of twice.
How did you kind of get pulled?
Well, one of them I didn't really get pulled over, but
he sped away from him. But you know what? Cop, when I was a kid, a cop pulled my mom over for running a red light, right? But she goes up to him or he comes up to the car. He's like, you know what I pulled you over for? She's like, no. He's like, you ran that light. And she was like, it was yellow. And the cop, I remember this so vividly. He says, well, it was in between red and yellow. It was an orange light. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, dude. And then he proceeds to go on and say, look, I'm sorry, but we have to make like a certain quota by the end of every month or whatever for tickets.
Yep.
And so my mom lost it. She's like, you're giving me a fucking ticket for going through an orange light because you have to give out a ticket to people? And dude, it was just awful. But anyway, that's what I thought of whenever you said we ran a yellow.
Wonderful. So the cop takes your license and he's like, what are you in such a hurry for, big legs? They've got derogatory names just for us three. So what do you get mad when he calls you big legs? Do you get mad about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you do? What do you do to him?
I kick him. I said, "What are you going to do about it?"
Okay, well
they struggle to arrest.
And then he pulls out his gun, right? He pulls out this gun. It's a BB gun, right? It can't penetrate my skin. I
Why
said,
is
"Go
it
ahead,
now
shoot
a
me."
BB gun?
And I take because a gun their size that they need to, work is not going to be the size of a normal Glock. Have you ever seen like a little kid try to shoot a Desert Eagle? Like it just will shoot him back 50 yards.
I have never seen that ever. No, you're right.
I saw that every day growing up as a kid. No, but I say, what are you going to do? And I take the gun out of his hand after he draws it on me because I said, you're a bitch, and I slap him.
You're so aggressive.
And I take the gun and I shoot myself with it just to show him it does nothing, right? And he says, oh, fuck. And he like pushes this button in his car, and like it's like this special button, and out of nowhere, they just have rhinoceroses, right? This infantry squad.
How is this related to being 3 feet tall?
Rides at me because they've in this time they said, what if we cannot apprehend these long-legged motherfuckers called the BDP podcast, the BDP podcast?
Do we still do the podcast?
They said we have. Yeah, of course. It's called long legs.
Yeah, we're taking the word back.
And so they have this special task force that rides rhinoceroses around with tranquilizers on it to try to take us down, just in case we get a little.
Wait, the police ride the rhinoceroses?
Yes, they're transported in trucks and 18-wheelers. Are the rhinos still the same size? I'm so confused.
Yes, it's just the people.
So a 3-foot man on a humongous rhinoceros is chasing me. And that's the only... Then I surrender. I say, all right, what do you want? What do you want to do?
Okay, but then they're like, we need to bring in the big guns. The rhinoceroses aren't fast enough to catch up to his car. You get in your car and you drive away.
Up.
Yeah. No, Bailey, you're still in Britain. Also, yeah, I love how they have all these slurs for us, like big legs and stuff, but like it's just on the off chance they run into one of us. Like
the whole world hates. It sounds like we're celebrity, right? Like,
yeah. No, we're
well, we are.
Yeah, we're not good celebrity. We're infamous.
I thought you were gonna like turn this around and be like, okay, now what you just experienced, reverse that, and that's what life is like for midgets. Like you were gonna turn it into some Darman shit.
There we go. No, so the rhinos can't keep up with your car, so like we need to bring in the big guns, and they throw down like I guess tacks is what they throw down on the road, and they or spikes maybe, and they blow out your tires, and so now your car is like stranded, and you see a little 2-foot tall tank come like around the corner, and it's made of cardboard, because they're not strong enough to build out of metal. So this little cardboard tank comes out. It's 2 feet tall. And they just like ram it into your leg. And you just like, what do you do?
Wait, I'm just picturing this, right? Because like 3 foot tall is like the
Yes,
size of
his
like a
head's
decent
sticking
like
out.
4-year-old or like a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
So I'm just living in a world where everybody is 3-year-old sized.
Yeah, and babies are like really tall for their age.
What?
Well, because everybody's 3 feet tall, so like babies are born like a little taller than normal.
Oh, so babies are born 3 feet?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's pregnancy is very
Sorry,
painful.
what? How can a 3-foot woman give birth to a
this doesn't
3-foot
make
child?
any sense.
Wait, he. So you know those things you like? They're like an inch big. You soak them in water and they grow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like the baby's like 6 inches, but like as it comes out, it like grows very
They put
quickly.
it in water.
Just add water.
Just add water.
What if we don't
What
even
is
need
the
to go
point
for
of this? I'm
pregnancy?
so confused about where we're going with this.
I just want to know what you guys did. It's all look. We're on to Bailey. DC, you killed it. All right, you did great.
Look,
Bailey.
right? I never find out because I only talk to you two and I don't leave my house.
No, but here's the
So-
thing, Bailey. You come onto the podcast and you're like, hey guys, anything new going on in the world?
I have
And
never asked that and I never will.
And I'm like, well, now that you mention it, Bailey, I went to the store the other day, and this guy grabbed me by the arm, and he said, hey, buddy, he said, how's the weather up there? And that just fucking pissed me off.
I would just be very confused, Pound.
And I'd be like, Bailey, the entire world, they've shrunk down. Bailey, you walk downstairs, right? You're visiting your family.
Yeah, they live downstairs. They live in the
Yeah.
kitchen.
And your mom's so look, your dad does not like tall people, right? But
Right.
but he like, it is your mom says, don't say anything to Bailey. So oh shit.
Your stepdad,
I'm
your
joking.
stepdad hates tall.
So your mom's like Bailey, can you get the cereal out of the top cupboard? We can't reach it anymore. So you're like, yeah. So you get the
You'd
cereal.
have think in like the week that it took me to go see them, they'd have probably devised a plan on how to get their food by now.
No, they for some reason I keep putting it back up there.
I'm sorry, but I need clarification. Just, I know this is like getting into the details, but like, has time passed where they've had enough time to rebuild every structure and like are cabinets the same size as they were before, or are they now?
Not in
Well,
my
it's
story,
been like
no.
a year, so they've started like
What?
like new houses.
So
like,
I
how
haven't
do
been
they-
outside in a
How
year
did they
at this point.
function in the house that was still built for regular tall? not
Wow,
regular
that's
size.
racist.
No, that was built for our size. I'm just confused. Like, in this world that you're describing, has everything now been shrunk down to their size, and we are living in that world, or is
Nope,
everything
whole-
still our
whole
size
world
and
is
they're
the
just
same.
short?
Entire world's the same.
Okay, so we're just giants.
Yeah, no, well, everything's normal size for us. They're just like things are way too big for them.
That's what I just asked, and you said the opposite. Anyway,
No, you said did their houses shrink down?
you said everything was small.
No, I said everything's the same.
Okay, so everything's the same, and they are just struggling day in and day out to try to survive.
Yeah,
while
and
we're
that's why they're angry at us.
Okay, so they live in Bailey's bed is still the same size, and their beds are massive.
I'm
and
the
then-
same
Yes.
size.
and
Yes,
so-
like Bailey tried to do a pillow fight with his sibling, and he accidentally like put him in a coma.
and you come down for breakfast one day, and your stepdad looks up at you, and he says, "Bailey,
I don't
think
live with them. What is?
I know,
why
but you are in
me?
this situation. You come downstairs, and he looks up at you, and he says, "What? Do you think you're better than me, or something?" What do you say?
I say yes because I fucking hate him.
And he says, "Why?
Why?
Why?"
And then your stepdad's like, Bailey, these tree legs, I don't care for them. And your mom's like, you're like, Harold, like don't say that. And he's like, no, I mean, he's like, Bailey, you're one of the good ones. It's just those other ones I don't care for. And you're like, so he's talking about just me and DC. We're the only other tree legs.
I don't give a fuck about either of you, so I let him say it.
You let him say it. You let him
Yeah.
call us tree legs to your face.
Fuck you two.
Pound, I have a question for you in this situation. You have to address the entire world about why or how it feels to be one of 3 tall people left your apology, because it's a bad thing, right? It's a bad thing that you're tall and the rest of the world is short, and you have to explain how it happened. Go.
Me?
Either one of you can do it.
Yeah, I haven't gone yet, so I guess unless Bailey had like a great answer for this.
No, I am not funny at this. You have
I'm not going to be funny at
realize.
it either. Okay, so all the cameras are on me.
It's a huge international press conference.
Yeah, and just to fuck with me, they gave me like a 2-foot tall podium and like the mic is like at my knees, and they're like, "Oh, sorry, we forgot." I'm like, "Fuck you." So I have to hold the mic in my hand, and I'm like, "Hey guys, first off, BDP podcast, check it out. Funny show. Secondly, I heard everybody short. Real don't know what happened. Don't know how us three were saved from the plague that came upon us, but if you like your frisbee gets stuck in a tree or something, just call one of us up. We'll be right over. We'll get it. We'll grab it, and hope we can all get along. I love and care for everybody, and I throw up like 2 peace signs with my hands, and then I walk off the stage.
Okay.
And
First
then
of all, why do you think we'd be more likely to get frisbees out of trees when they're still the same size?
Well, because they start planting smaller trees.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So like for us, it's like eye level.
Okay.
But of course, there's some big trees, and we just have to go. Oh, sorry. And then,
I think we're confusing a lot here with. Are they 3 feet tall, or are they like 3 inches tall?
They're 3 feet tall.
Okay, so things wouldn't be that much small.
Yeah, no, I guess not. I mean, but here's the big thing, is that all like public transportation, like buses and trains and stuff, they eventually switch it over to where like the doors are only like 4 feet high, so we all have to like duck to like get in the bus, and we kind of like start petitioning the government, like, hey, can we have like bigger? How they have like handicap entrances? We're like, hey, can you make like big doors? They always say that they're working on it, but nothing ever gets done about it.
Oh, I have a car.
The mechanic, he's like super discriminatory, and so he doesn't fix your car.
You realize there's more than one mechanic in the world, right?
No,
there's only one in Norfolk.
Okay, something that I hate is when companies make like all these like emotional ads that have nothing to do with their product whatsoever. And I think I saw like a big one is banks.
I hate this too.
They'll show like an elderly couple that's like in their 70s. They're like dancing together, and they just dance for like 10 seconds, and it cuts to like Chase Bank. It's like it has nothing to do with what the commercial was.
Just what you described, right? If I'm supposed to deduce what this commercial meant, it meant that like if I invest in this bank, like I will be happy enough to be dancing when I'm older.
Yeah, but like the happiness doesn't like. Yeah, sure, the bank helped, but it's very. I'm sure other happy things happened in their lives for them to get to that point.
But the whole point of
it was all like Chase Bank
is to make you think that all of this was made possible because they chose Chase.
Well, I studied finance, and we actually learned about this. It's because how do you advertise a bank? Nobody cares.
Exactly, that's why it pisses me off. I'll share the commercial that inspired this, and it was just on TV like twice. I don't remember what the brand is, but it was so stupid that I was inspired to bring it up on the podcast. It was a Christmas commercial, so this is about a month ago when I saw it.
My favorite.
And it shows like I guess they're at the grandparents' house, and they show like the daughter coming home with her husband. They like open the door and they like exchange presents. They like hug and stuff. Like, oh, it's so great to see you. Then the son comes home with his wife. They're like, oh my god, it's been a year since we saw you, and they like hug and everything. They exchange presents, and then they go to the grandchildren come in, and they're like, oh my god, you've grown so much. And then they have this giant like Christmas feast on the table. Everyone's sitting at the dining table. They're handing out like a turkey they just cut. And there's like so much food, mashed potatoes, and then there's these rolls of bread, and the grandmother takes some butter and puts it on top of the rolls, and it's like it's just not Christmas without Lady of the Lake's butter. And I was like, that was the least important part of what just happened in this entire commercial.
Pause. What did you just call the butter?
I think it was, what is it, like Land O'Lakes or something? I don't remember what the exact butter was, but it was like 27 seconds of stuff completely unrelated to butter. And then they just like put butter on something and they're like, yeah, this wouldn't be Christmas without butter.
I think it's all, dude, advertising is so psychological. Like, we know this, right? They put so much research and effort into figuring out what's going to make people buy more of their product. And so, like, they're thinking, you watch this really nice family event, and then after it, at the very end, say, all this made possible by Land O'Lakes butter. They show the brand on screen. You see what they're doing. So next time you're in the grocery store, you have to buy butter, your subconscious, when you see that label, Land O'Lakes, and you say it out loud in your head, makes you think of, you associate it with a happy family. And so, right? Is that, like, you guys agree?
Oh yeah,
with
no,
me?
that's entirely why they do it, but I hate it.
Yeah,
you know what?
It is awful.
What's really funny about this is that I consciously watch those ads and I hate them too. So when I watch those ads, I'm like, fuck your stupid marketing. And when I see them in the store, I'll think the same thing again. So whilst like the point is subconscious, you're meant to be tricked into it for that reason, it actually ends up having the reverse effect on me, but I know I'm in a huge minority there.
Yeah,
right.
I'm like that. I'm like that with Twitch ads and YouTube ads.
Yeah,
Oh,
when I see it, I'm like, fuck you trying to advertise to me. I'll buy a different butter just because I don't like your shit ad,
See, I like a product. I'll trust a product if it has a strong advertising presence. Like, I don't, unless the ad really rubs me the wrong way and I don't want to buy the product. My thoughts is like, oh, Land O'Lakes has enough money and resources to like put a well-produced. It must be a good product.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with that.
It's those sketchy off-brands that I have a hard time purchasing. But how fun is it when you find an off-brand item, food or whatever, and it's just like awesome? And you're like,
I fuck it. The excitement of buying off-brand products and not knowing whether it's going to be glorious or fucking shit is impeccable.
I was like scared to buy it. I ended up not buying it. I was at the dollar store, and they have like some food, and it kind of like sketches you out because you're like, okay, this is normally like $4. I'm kind of sketched out that this is $1. I don't know if I should like be eating this. And one of the things was they sold sour cream, right? And what first threw me off was cream was spelled wrong on the container.
no.
And I know that's like a legal loophole that like those, if they don't spell it correctly, then they're not like it doesn't have to be what it is.
Yeah.
Like if it's spelled like milk, like MLK, then like it doesn't have to be milk. Like
it can be 99% grain alcohol.
So I pick up this $1 sour cream spelled wrong, and I was like, that's suspicious that they didn't spell this right.
Wait,
and then
just as a guess, was it CREME?
Yeah, CREME. Yeah.
Sour creme.
Yeah, and then the tagline for, what are some famous like food slogans?
just
like
says
on
not sour cream.
A dollop of daisy is the sour cream one. It's a dollop of daisy.
Yeah, so the tagline on the container, it says the taste is unreal. I was like, oh no. I was like, is it unreal? So I end up Googling it, and it turns out, it's not sour cream at all. It's some like hydrogenated soybeans or something. And I start reading reviews of it, and there's just all these like adults that are like, when I was a child growing up, my parents bought this for me, and I always threw up after. I was like, okay, so I'm not buying this.
If you ever want a good time, go knock on my sister's door. No, but there's a
what the
review.
fuck?
There's a review. Go to Amazon and type in Haribo sugar-free gummy bears and just read the reviews
about
on
people,
there.
because it's like a
Explosive diet.
what's the term for it?
Are you talking about laxative?
Yeah, laxative. Yeah,
Yeah. Yep.
I think it's is it the sugar substitute?
Yeah. I always thought the word, like, if something's a diuretic, you guys know what that is?
That's the first word that came to mind. I was trying to think of it.
But do you know what that is?
I think it means it's something that makes you poop.
No. I think
No?
it is.
Good.
Diuretic, also called water pills, medications designed to increase the amount of water and salt expelled the body as urine. I always thought it was something that made you go diarrhea.
I thought so too. It probably does that too. Dude, somebody in the comments now, when I upload this, somebody in the comments is going to be like, this podcast is a diuretic. I'm going to delete the whole channel.
Please. Somebody.
Yeah, this episode was it was like a more chill vibe.
Yeah, I think so.
Episode
Cool. It was a good
not
change of
funny.
pace. No, it wasn't like hilarious, but I think it was interesting.
I died laughing at DC's midget police officers riding rhinoceros. Have y'all seen the, speaking of the commercials that just try to play on like family values that have nothing to do with their product? Have y'all seen it's kind of famous, the like incestuous Folgers coffee commercial? This guy, he's been in South Africa for like a year or something. I forget what he was there for. It might have been like a missionary trip or something, or maybe just like a vacation. But he comes home, and it's like 5 a.m., like the crack of dawn. He's been gone. He's been out of the continent for a year. He knocks on the door, and his younger sister opens the door. He's like 27, she's like 23. His sister opens the door. They like hug each other, and then they go in, and then she makes like some Folgers coffee for him. And they're just like sitting in the kitchen. I can't describe it. You have to watch it. They're giving each other like fuck me eyes. And they're like, oh, sure, I've missed you for the last year or so. It's great to have you back in the house. It just seems like they want to fuck each other. And it's so bizarre.
You know what's funny about that? You're like the only person who's ever had that thought watching that ad. Everybody else thinks it's normal.
Pound instantly went on like the internet and typed like Folgers incest commercial and like Google for the first time said no results found. No, that was when Game of Thrones was popular, and fucking your brother was considered cool.
I've never seen Game of Thrones.
That's like the best show out there ever.
Well, I haven't seen speaking of best show out there. So other one I always hear people say is the best show. I haven't seen Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I haven't. I started that. It was too stressful. I don't like shows that are just high stress the entire time.
You're a fucking pussy.
Yeah. If somebody said, if aliens came here and they said, what is the most intense? No, I'm kidding. What is the best show out there that I'm just going to be like, that was the best? That's what I would answer. Game of Thrones.
Okay, you know what? I've Googled it. No, I've Googled it. There are multiple articles written about this incest ad. I'm going to add it into the podcast and let the viewers decide for themselves.
You are not going to add it into the podcast. That's a blatant lie.
I already did.
What do you mean you already did?
I already added it.
It didn't get in. Well, what? We just kept talking.
There's even parodies have been made. It says Folgers incest commercial parody.
All right, send me the link real quick.
I must have the wrong house.
Sister?
Oh, I missed you so much.
They waited up all night for you, you know.
It's a long way from West Africa. Oh, real coffee.
He's here.
I brought you something from far away.
Really? Oh.
What are you doing?
You're my present this year.
The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
Okay, tell me that bow part is not them wanting to fuck.
I wouldn't. I don't even know if I would have looked twice at that.
I would have cringed.
It is a little
but
weird.
I would have been like, that's incestuous.
Yeah, I would have cringed too, but yeah, I wouldn't have thought like they're about to fuck.
The top comment is the parents woke up because they smelled incest. Dude, one of the things that people got really mad about is that he just spent like a year in South Africa or was it South America? Do you remember?
It was Africa.
It was Africa, yeah. Apparently South Africa is like famous for their coffee. And he's like,
okay.
And they got really pissed off. He just spent a year in South Africa, and he comes back to like some like shitty Folgers, and he's like, finally some real coffee.
Fuck the advertising team.
Yeah. Okay, it's time for Lolno Pounds. Truth or lie?
Is that really what we've started to call it?
Are you guys? What else do y'all have to bring up?
I don't.
No, the segment should be called something like "Am I lying?" or like something.
Wow, that was really
is he lying? Is he lying?
That's even more shit.
Or
we're not a kids' television show.
But what? All right, what
We
would it be
are.
called
Have
then?
you seen our
Let's hear
audience
it.
statistics?
What would you call
Uh,
the segment right now?
I don't have a better name, but I can criticize without giving a better up.
Yeah, well, you know what they say. It's real easy to be a critic.
Yeah, it is, and that's why I'm being one. So suck my cock.
That's what it's called. It's called Suck My Cock. Yeah.
Pound's always like I love alliteration, then can't think of an illiterate name for the segment.
Okay. Hold on. We're getting somewhere.
Bet or bullshit.
God damn it, DC, I'm trying to think!
Well, then, okay.
We'll go quiet as soon as you said that.
Alright, fuck, we got no fucking name, okay?
Wow.
Okay, so as a story beginning.
Give us a headline first. I like the headlines.
Okay, the headline is parking lot fuck.
No. Okay.
So as a high schooler,
They've all been about sex except like one.
it's only my second one.
I mean, out of all of us.
Yeah.
We're so disappointing.
No. No.
Oh,
Okay, so in high school, I lived with my parents, so there wasn't, I couldn't
Lie. Your parents are divorced.
Yeah, I was homeless. There wasn't anywhere that I could go to have sex or anything, because
I was having it all the time.
I was having it all the time.
So I went into a
So-
classroom.
I went to a classroom and got blown. And then after, but then I accidentally got her pregnant because my paper condom didn't work. Okay,
True,
so.
you have a kid.
True. little pounder.
Little pound.
Okay,
All
so
right, go ahead. Sorry.
I didn't have anywhere that because I lived with my parents. I didn't have my own place. So the only place I had to have sex was in my car. And typically what we would do is with the girl I was boning, at the time. Typically at night we would go to this certain parking lot.
Quick, what was her name?
I'm not fucking saying that.
No,
Alice.
first name. Who the fuck cares?
I'm not saying that either.
Say it, you pussy.
Oh, because all your IRL friends are listening right now?
Nobody watches
Yeah,
this.
all my IRL friends are listening, dude.
Alice.
Yep, it was
Fuck you.
Alice. Okay, so it's fucking Alice.
She was Asian, right?
She was Asian, yep. And I put my finger in her butthole, typical, usual stuff.
You live
So
streamed
tip-
sex on Omegle.
Yeah, normally what we would do is we would go to this parking lot at 11 p.m. when everyone was kind of asleep. There's nobody in the parking lot. And we just fuck in the back seat. But one day, because as you might know, I'm a very horny person, and
Wow.
it was 4 p.m. broad daylight, and I wanted to fuck. All right, fucking sue me, Bailey. Fucking sue me.
I fucking will.
So we don't know where the hell we can have sex, and I don't know why this is where we turned in, but we turned into this mental hospital kinda, and we pull into the parking lot, and we go to it's a big parking lot, so we go to the very back corner. It's up against a fence and stuff, so as long as somebody doesn't come to that back corner, it's more or less secluded. And we for 2 minutes, we just kind of look around and see if anybody walks by. Nobody does. So we start having sex in the back seat, and we finish, and we kind of awkwardly climb back into the driver's seat and the passenger seat in the front, and we're starting to put our clothes back on. Not 20 seconds after we got fully dressed, a police officer walks up to the door and knocks on the window.
It's just the story of when you were half pulled over.
No. He makes us get out the car, and he totally knows we were just having sex in the parking lot of this place. He asks what we're doing here. My friend says that they have an appointment there. They
Your
just
friend.
they just
This isn't
My-
your
my-
girlfriend.
girlfriend, I
It's
guess
a
you
lie.
could call
Okay.
her. She says that she just finished an appointment there, and that's why we're in the parking lot. We do not admit to doing anything. And he asked for our IDs, And, we're in high school, so we're not, we don't necessarily have an ID or anything. And she says she doesn't have an ID on her. I give my ID because I'm driving, so obviously I have to have it. She says she doesn't have one. And so I'm convinced we're going to like jail or something for fucking in a parking lot. But for whatever reason, he after about like 3 minutes of interrogation, he just lets us on our way. And that was the last time I ever had sex in broad daylight in public. We continued at night, but I learned my fucking lesson. I'm like, okay, I don't think I fully understood how stupid it was to have sex in a parking lot in a car at 4 p.m. So that was the story of the last time I ever did it and almost went to jail for getting fucked because I was getting my dick too wet. What questions do y'all have?
Was that the first time you'd ever done it?
During the daytime?
Yeah.
No, I had done it in a grocery store parking lot, which is equally stupid. But
how did you get away with that?
It was very. The parking lot, the grocery store was way slower than the size of the parking lot. So, just like at the place we were at, there was like a fence that where nobody parked at because it was very far away from the front door. So it was just like under some branches. So there was some shade. And we just stayed very low, like below the windows. And
was she on top or were you on top?
I was on top.
In the back seat.
Yes.
Have you ever tried to do that?
Are you asking
me?
What?
Either of you. I'm Pound. I'm asking Pound.
He can't answer.
Have you ever tried to do that, Pound?
Okay, I do. Wait, this is an important distinction.
Strategy.
This is a while ago. It wasn't in the back seat. It was in the passenger seat that we reclined all the way back.
Was it the same girl both times?
Yes.
What car was it?
What kind of detail is? Wait, like the make and model?
Of course it matters because that's the size of the car.
It was the Mazda 3.
DC, you go.
No, you go first.
I'm going with True, boss man.
Oh. It is true.
Yes, DC, you're still on zilch. Okay, Pound. I know last week you were analyzing how we're storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
I've just done the exact same to you. You felt like you were telling a true story, but trying to sound like you were lying. If that makes sense.
I honestly, I was like, I didn't even try to like make it seem like I was lying. I was just kind of telling the story. You
hesitated a lot, and it threw me off. So I was like, yeah, this is true. And also, that's a very you thing to do. How do you not remember the model of your own car?
I forgot what it was called. It was a Mazda 3. I was trying to think of like a name. I forgot it was just like a number. Once I got my own place, I was blown away at how stupid it was. I was like, I used to just have sex in a car, like out in the open. I'm like, that is so like bizarre that that's what I used to do, but it was your only option, Like I would never, now that I have my own place, I would never be like, hey baby, let's go to my car. Let's drive to a parking lot.
What is that the weirdest place you've had sex, Pound?
Oh my god, yes, but you've totally led into one of the funniest game show answers of all time, where it's the newlywed game. So it's people who are like, we're just married, and they ask each other questions to see how well they know each other.
Right.
Like they'll say like, what is your wife's favorite food? And the wife will write it down, and then the husband will go like, pizza, and the wife will flip over her answer, and they'll see if they get it right. One of them was, the question was, and we need to bring this word back, because it's such a stupid euphemism. Americans are very pure, so obviously in the 50s or 60s when this game was happening, they weren't gonna say sex on TV. So they said, what is the weirdest place you've ever made whoopee? That was the euphemism for it.
I was on
whoopee.
board of bringing back a new term, and then you used that one.
Making whoopee. It's so bizarre. But yeah, so they said, where's the strangest place you've ever had sex? We'll just say had sex.
Yes, please.
And the lady's like, maybe you're picturing like in a parking lot, in a grocery store parking lot, in a train. And the girl's like, where's the weirdest place I've ever had sex? And he's like, yeah. She's like, I don't know if I can say this on TV. He's like, yeah, go ahead. In the ass. I shared this on Discord, but earlier this week, this lady came in to check on her bank account, and I was like, yeah, your account is actually overdrawn by like $250. She was like, what? We barely use the account. How could that happen? And so I print out like her history for the month, like all the payments and stuff.
Like your son here is heavily addicted to porn.
So a lot of it was every time you overdraw your account. So if your account is negative and you continue to spend money, it's $30 each time.
Fuck.
Right?
Even if like you spend $1.
Yep.
So there's a
by 1 cent.
Wow.
Yeah, so this lady comes in and she's asking like, how could it be overdrawn? And I see that the people on the account, it's her and her boyfriend. Those are the two people on the account. And I'm looking at the transactions that overdrew it. And the first one's like, I'm like, okay, it looks like what brought it negative was Walmart. She's like, okay, yeah. She's like, I remember that. And the very next one, it says onlyfans.com.
Yes, there it is.
I was gonna say pocket pussy, but I was like, no.
I just like skip over it. I'm just like, okay, it looks like the overdraft charges it was for Walmart. Like, it says OnlyFans. I just like skip over that. And like the next two charges, I'm pretty sure I recognize as like pseudonyms that porn companies use when they charge on your card. The fucking balls on this guy to overdraw his account with his girlfriend on it for porn.
The guy's like winking at you, like high fives you. He's like, shh.
No, the guy's not there. The guy's not there. It's just her.
Should have just printed it out and been like, here you go.
No, I would have read it out and I'd been like some OnlyFans website or something,
Yeah.
you know?
I think it's a sports betting website.
Yeah, right? I really enjoy like very casual like debates with people, but it gets like I enjoyed that, but it gets boring and tedious and way too serious when you start Googling stuff and being like, hey, this proves that I'm right, fuck you, you know? Like I like sharing opinions, but as soon as it gets like factual and you know, they send something that they can prove, then I have to go find something, and I don't have the time to fucking, or the energy to keep doing that. So, yeah, I agree. I think with the podcast, like, researching shit would be lame as fuck.
Yeah, and as long as, you know, everyone understands, like, don't come away from this podcast thinking, like, oh, that was really smart. I'm gonna, because we don't have it's just casual conversation. It's
well,
not,
you two
you know,
don't. I have the credentials.
Right? But don't be like, oh yeah, Bailey was with, you know, if I without any facts in front of me say like, McDonald's kills 20 million people a year, don't come away from that don't go up to people and be like, yeah, did you know McDonald's is killing people? You know
on Twitter they have that that warning where it's like this post may be like fake news or some shit.
Yeah,
we need that on the podcast.
Exactly. Just anytime DC starts talking, I just put it up on the screen. This guy posted a picture of him having 2 cocks.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And he was like famous. He was like famous on Reddit for years as the guy with 2 cocks. And then I forget how, but it finally came out they just like photoshopped it.
Why wouldn't that be your first conclusion?
Well, why would you Photoshop a second cock on your body?
Famous on Reddit.
His username was like double dick dude.
Wait, where did he post the photo? Did he just?
I guess on like the porn subreddits.
Wow. Like, here's my 2 cocks.
Bailey, I need a psychology lesson from you.
Yeah, what's up?
I've started this just started like yesterday.
Right.
There's a specific porn subreddit where we try to post like the hottest girl possible. Like,
right.
You post like, I think this is like the hottest girl there is.
Right.
And it's not super active. There's like 2 posts a day or so.
Okay.
And I've started this thing where I go into the comments section of every single new post. I go, oh yeah, I know this girl. I fucked her. And I've so far in every comment, I get like 20 downvotes, and it just makes me laugh that there's like this even though I'm playing the character, it makes me laugh that there's this character going around claiming he's fucked every woman and just getting shit on constantly for it. Why do you think that brings me such joy to like make people mad about that? I guess because it's like, I think it's my thoughts are, I think it's just funny that it's not hurting anyone to be like, oh yeah, I fucked this girl, but then like people get like really mad about it.
Maybe it's just attention. Maybe it's just a feedback thing. Like I think you'd obviously you'd stop doing it if nobody replied, but I think you'd also stop
Absolutely,
doing.
yeah.
I think you'd also stop doing it if people replied saying, "Wow, that's really cool."
Yeah, I probably would.
Like there is an element to trolling, right? I don't know what it is, but there's an element when you troll somebody, you're like, "Wow, that's really funny that they fell for that and got an emotional response to it."
Yeah.
I think people generally are really like sensitive to emotional responses. So like that's why so many people enjoy like fucking arguing on social media and shit.
Mhm.
It's so easy to get an emotional response from somebody, you know? And like I'm I'm a person who I don't really value that emotional response, so I never comment on anything on social media. But again, I'm in a minority of that. I think the reason so many people will even reply to anything in general is because they want that response from other people. So yeah, maybe it's that. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. What do you get from it, Pound? What do you get from it?
I guess just because I treat the internet as kind of like an offshoot of real life. Like I don't think
Right.
Reddit comments are like super serious.
Yeah.
So the fact that even though I know it takes like 5 seconds to downvote something, not even that long,
Uh-huh.
but the fact that I could say something that doesn't really hurt anybody, and make like multiple people, dozens of people, upset enough to like go click a button just to lower my score. I find humor in it that it's that easy to, I guess, get a reaction out of people.
Yeah, I think that's all there is to it. You know, it takes you 10 seconds. You know you're not harming anybody, so it
Mhm.
doesn't make you a bad person at all. But you you get the numbers from it, right? You know that it's reaching people. You know that your comment is heard, and trolling's fucking fun, man.